just want to say, if you're squeamish, please avert the video right now. I'm going to show you how I make the tonkotsu, or at least the some of it. But I am about to butcher a full animal, well, the head part of it. So if you're not with it, this is your time now. But however, if you are, here we go. Okay. So the way I make tonkotsu here at the shop, I use the full parts of the animals. The only thing I can't get specifically is the actual the feet. I think it gets sold a little bit more. That's why they're not able to sell it to me. But by using the headpiece of the pork to make the tonkotsu, it gives you a darker, I don't want to say like smokier flavor, but the head meat is definitely just delicious. So we're making incisions here. I like to go from the to make it like a joker kind of, if that makes any sense. You kind of slit the I don't know why it shut off again. So if you are the squeamish type, please, you can avert your eyes, but we're gonna start by slicing it from the smile over. And since this is a it's not grown to be past I think these are 10 months old, maybe shorter. I have to contact the I don't know what's happening with the video recording. It keeps cutting off. But the guanciale part that's here, there's not a lot of it, so it's okay. We're just gonna full boil it. So we're gonna cut it like this onto the cheek first, and then we're gonna work on everything else. But once the cheek meat is out, I would like to then do from the top, just make a score mark all the way into the nose, and then from here we're gonna work our way out. This is where a sharper knife would really benefit you. This small little knife here is it's a freaking champ, man. But we're just gonna work our way into the snout all the way down. Once we get it pretty much in, I'm just gonna keep going. Now all that meat we're gonna save, because again, we're not saving this for the cheek meat, which is here, the guanciale part. But also as like a cheaper cut of meat, if that makes any sense. And since no one else really uses it, you know, we want to respect the animal and use all the sum of its parts. So that's why we use it on our. But look at all this collagen. That's what we're aiming for in the use of this meat. Okay, that's one done. And then I'd like to, from the snout down, just gonna get all that out. The name of the game is fat, so that's what tonkotsu is all about. That's what gives you the texture on your palate when you drink the broth. I'm gonna sharpen this guy. Not sharp anymore. And a small knife is sharper right now. Oh yeah. Okay. Then from here, I'm right-handed, so on the left side, on the right side of the face is a little more difficult to do, but on the left side, since everything peels to the right, it's a lot easier. And we're just working our way in. Okay. from here, obviously just wash your hands. That's all literally like the cartilage and the fat. That's what we're going for. That's it. Again, this is it's slightly frozen, so it's a little more difficult to release, but it's a lot easier to cut. So there's like a fine line of, you know, making sure you do this. Okay, so that's all the face meat. But look, if you look at it, the tongue is still intact. We're gonna leave that all in there. All of this collagen is what we're trying to get rid of, or rather boil out. And then all of this face meat, we're gonna do one more thing before we get that out. I'm gonna take we just want to get rid of all the hairs, that's all. It melts eventually into the broth, but sometimes you still get a little bit of it. So just as a precaution. That's all we're doing, nothing crazy. Okay. So now once everything is kind of seared out, we'll take all of this and into our fat broth little kettle here to just slowly blip away all together. And I explained to you why that is, but let's get the headpiece in there into our broth. Let me just wash my hands real fast. Okay, so let me explain to you what's actually happening on the inside. We have the head pieces, and you see how this is already cooked? This is what people was not going to tell you, like how to kind of produce this. There's still collagen in these bones because it didn't fully cook yet. Even though I cooked this over 2 days, it's still not extracted. So I saved the bones with the fat still in them. I cook it until I see there's no more fat, if that makes sense. Rinse and repeat, I keep saving it. But the general mix is this is a 10-gallon pot. 10 gallons, 35 pounds of fat essentially, and like about 40 pounds of bones with about a head, if that makes any sense to you. That's my mix for the tonkotsu. And then it's a minimum cook of this is the first day. We're gonna cook this one day today. This is gonna cook in about 6 hours. The fat in itself. So once that's done, we're gonna puree it, put it into our Cambro bucket. This is gonna go overnight, so we're gonna ripping boil all the way over, and then when I'm about to leave tonight, I'm gonna put it on low so it simmers, and then the next day top it off, let it boil again. So a 2-day cook on the bones itself. On the third day is when I start adjusting. So I'll then take this, put it into there, and then just check out the consistency. So that's how I make the tonkotsu here in-house. So yeah, it's a long process, but that's how long I take. And then the one other thing that I don't tell you is once I do complete the cook of it, it then needs to sit in my fridge for about a week, about 4 hours. Just want to show you some updates. So this is the fat, definitely not done yet. I mean, it's starting to break down ish when you pick it up, right? But definitely need more time. And then the actual tonkotsu in itself is just blipping away. I keep refilling it with water. I skimmed ever so slightly, but I don't do it often because like I'm gonna strain it anyway, if that makes any sense, you know. A lot of people put too much emphasis on a skimming of the top. Bro, you're gonna skim it, or you're gonna strain it anyway, and I double strain it too with an extra fine mesh, so it doesn't really matter. The ears are in there too. This is the ear. Yeah, I mean, we got another day and a half essentially. It's only been 6 hours, so just to let you know how it looks like. You know, quick little update. See, that's the ear. Okay, cool. Okay, so we are now closing up the shop. Let me turn this off. So it's been going on for about 8 hours now. We just gotta turn this at its lowest. Like that. A little more. We don't want the flame to go out. But this is gonna remain at like 180, 185, 190 till tomorrow. That's it. Literally, this is the first full day of cooking, and then tomorrow again we'll adjust. I'll put it to a rapid boil. But yeah, this is time to go home now. I'm just gonna keep it on the lowest flame. So that's day one of Tonkotsu. Okay, so real quick, I just got here at the shop. We're gonna go check on the Tonkotsu from yesterday. So it's been cooking for a full-on day. There you go. See, that's all just fat. So the water was here before I left, came all the way down. But let's give you a perspective. It's been sitting at 170, 180, 175. Wow, that's perfect. 180 the entire night. So it has extracted a lot of the fat now. So what I'm gonna do right off the bat, increase that, let it come back up to a boil. We're gonna top it off with more water, and then I want to say by end of day today, I'll see where the texture is at, and then if I need to let this cook for another day, we'll see. But this is the process of my Tonkotsu. Okay, it's pretty much end of day. This has gone down twice. Like it went here, I filled it up, it went here again. Texture is correct. And then if you remember yesterday, these are the fat. So like that pot of just pork fat that has been stewing, I've already blended it with an immersion circulator, and I portion it into two buckets. So that will take about 15 gallons. This is 5 gallons, so 10. I'm gonna split it into two. The rest that doesn't fit in there, I'll put it into our bain maries, the big ones. But this is how I do the mix. So I like to do, I want to say about 5 liters or so of fat, like just pure fat, and then the rest is stock. But we're gonna strain that right now. But I'm gonna fill this up to about 20 quarts right here, and then immersion circulate it, and then just gonna let it rest. Okay, so let's do it. I'm gonna turn this off now. If you remember yesterday, there was also the big pork head that's in there. That's the only thing that I'm gonna save on this one here. I'll show you. This still has a lot of collagen left and a lot of fat. You see that? So that can cook for one more round. But the rest of the stuff that's in here, these has already been going for 3 more times. So like, this is the other head that's been cooking. It's fully gone now. So this we can pitch out. That cooked about twice. And then the rest of the bones here, see it? It's fully rendered out. Even the chicken bones, the chicken feet, all gone. So it all just depends if the collagen has already all left. And that's the name of the game, like rinse and repeat on all the stuff. The name of the game for Tonkotsu will always be fat. How long you can extract the fat, etc. Essentially about, at 14 hours is when it starts to break down. But I like to take it even further. Now, the only thing that I'm not currently doing, since it's not my full shop yet. In Japan, they have this thing called like a never-ending soup, or like the 1,000-year-old soup, even in China as well. I've been technically doing that. It's been 3 years now. I always save about 4 gallons, or like 3 gallons, which is this whole bean of the stock from before, and then I mix it with this one. So essentially it just keeps on repeating over and over and over. I'm giving you all the tricks. This way you can appreciate just truly how long this takes. A lot of the shops don't do this here in the States, just because of the sheer volume of effort that you need to go for. I'm pretty much the only shop that's doing it here like this, I should say. Okay, this is the only thing that we're gonna save. I'm then gonna strain this, but let's get it all ready. I'm gonna show you my other trick. You need this strainer specifically. Okay, now I'll explain to you why. This is your typical strainer. This is 20 bucks or so. This is $120. Why? This is so rigid and it's like triple lined, much more fine than this one line sieve. Does that make sense? So it goes like this. The bigger particles will go there, the smaller particles will sieve here, and then none of that stuff is gonna come outside. Okay? I'm gonna put it in one of there, and we're gonna scoop this out one by one. Okay, we filled up the first bucket, and here's how it looks like. Big sediments, barely any sediments in that one. Okay, rinse and repeat. We're gonna do that one too. Okay, so as you can see, both have been topped off pretty much at the same spot. Now we're just gonna immersion blend it. Okay, before I fully turn it on, I need you to understand that it totally depends up to you how long you run it. But for me, I like to run it about 2 minutes. So we're just gonna let it rip. You see that? Texture, baby. So that's about after 2 minutes. It has now turned even more milky compared to the other one. We're just kind of, the fat's still not almost incorporated. So that's the difference, okay? That's it. Look at that. Super creamy. Perfect color. There's still little bits in there, and I like that. That's called texture, okay? So that's how I make the tonkotsu. Now, the one thing that I don't tell you though, I take an extra step. Now, I will then portion it, but it needs to sit in my cooler for a week. Okay, so we have now portioned it, and they're now in this perspective bins. I wish I had more of these, but I don't. The rest of them will just go here. Now again, like I said, it needs to bench rest for it to cool down. But for me specifically, when we're talking about the spec of it, it needs to rest in a walk-in for a week. You might be asking why. The same way why your soups taste better the next day. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same motion as that one. It's kind of like a curing process. I feel no matter how long I've done it, right? I feel like anything over a week, it's like primo. So this is gonna sit a week, and then yeah, I'm always playing a week out when I'm making soup, specifically for tonkotsu, because the longer it sits, the better. This will get me through like a week and a half ish. Just totally depends how busy I am. But that's how I make the soups here at the shop. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an appreciation on how to make soups, specifically this style. And hope you learned something from it. Any questions, whatever it is, below, let me know, and then let's talk about it. But if you do appreciate that, like and subscribe, and then hopefully I'll see you soon. Okay, peace.